7 Best Voodoo Spellbooks, for new starters. What crosses your mind when hearing others talking about voodoo spells? For many, voodoo seems to depict a kind of black magic or dark witchcraft that is harmful. Despite the bad reputation, this type of spell is not as evil as it has been claimed. Voodoo spells are authentic, useful, and powerful. They work effectively in any circumstance, like love, relationships, finances, and career. They are still very popular nowadays. Though it sounds a bit complicated, you can practice casting voodoo magic at home. For beginners, voodoo spell books are a great assistant. You'll find millions of books on this field. However, choosing the titles serving you right can be a bit overwhelming in the reality. Don't know where to begin? These magic books can inspire your witchcraft journey. 1. Voodoo Hoodoo. Voodoo Hoodoo Spellbook is a full collection of the unique Creole voodoo originated from New Orleans. There are over 300 authentic voodoo and hoodoo spells, recipes, and rituals for different life aspects, such as love, fortune, success, prosperity, health, and more. It includes spells using oil and potions for attraction, fortune, blessing, dream, etc. Hoodoo powders to draw money, luck, and power fast. Curses and hexes. Talismans and candle magic. Voodoo Hoodoo is written by Denise Alvarado, a cultural psychologist living in New Orleans. The author introduces readers to the pantheon of voodoo spirits, 7 African powers, and along with her own magical arts. 2. Voodoo Doll Spellbook. A compendium of ancient and contemporary spells and rituals. This book adds to your collection countless secret spells that can deal with your circumstance, such as winning the heart of your love interest or binding your enemies. For the very first time, you will get the guide of making the voodoo doll in full details. There's a belief that voodoo doll was served as a servant of fast-acting, long-lasting magic in the past. Inside the Voodoo Doll Spellbook of Alvarado, you'll find spells to make yourself irresistible, find a true mate, break up a couple, cure sickness, and attain success. To improve any area of your life, you can do the casting using one of the oldest witchery tools, the conjure doll. 3. The Secrets of Voodoo from Beginner to Expert. Of all best voodoo spellbooks, every new spell casting practitioner must have this guidebook at home. Voodoo spells are not just about sticking pins into the cursed doll to cause pain onto the person you call enemy. This book gives you brief information about the voodoo history, a kind of spell developed by African Caribbean slaves. It helps you realize that voodoo is not just a religion but beyond your expectation. Through this beginner's guide, readers will be introduced to the essence of voodoo magic and detailed instructions of how to practice a basic voodoo protection charm. Mastering the art of voodoo needs your hard work and devotion. 4. The New Orleans Voodoo Handbook. What to learn from this witchcraft voodoo book? This is a handy guide to a variety of different practices, tools, and rituals of voodoo spells and many cultural influences from the origin. Various recipes and instructions to perform spells with magical oils and candles, plus the direction to create gris-gris bags and voodoo dolls for love attraction, fortune drawing, healing, and so on. You can also learn about the history and ethical diversity of voodoo. It's considered as a rich spiritual tradition of New Orleans. As knowing the beauty of this ancient art, the author has released this handbook to give people who are interested in this system of worship a deep understanding. Also, spells helping one call on the saints and spirits of voodoo are revealed. 5. Voodoo dolls in magic and ritual. Denise Alvarado is a must-follow author if you're into the realm of practicing voodoo spells. With over 40 years' experience in mysticism and conjure arts, this ritual artist will accompany in the journey of exploring the history, mystery, and magic of voodoo dolls completely. You will get more details about the voodoo doll's roots in the past and how it can benefit everyday living of a person. Learn the easiest ways to make 3 kinds of voodoo dolls. Moreover, you'll find more than 30 spells and rituals to attract your crush, draw luck, upgrade protection, and provide healing and happiness. It gives a good overall general base if all you're looking for is basic knowledge. 6. Hoodoo Voodoo. Herb and root magic. Practitioners find this guidebook is informative and helpful. You'll sense how strongly hoodoo and voodoo can influence the natives. Because of this inspiration, the book is published to help people gain better insight into this subject. A long history to discover. Inside this book, readers will be informed about spells, practices, and even curses that need to awake the power of voodoo and hoodoo for them to work. Here are some certain questions that you will find the answer via the Hoodoo Voodoo book. What is voodoo magic? What is root worker? Is voodoo real? Is voodoo evil? How to do voodoo? What's the difference between voodoo and hoodoo? What are voodoo symbols and their meanings? Ignoring all kinds of rumors about the voodoo magic's bad reputation, voodoo still has a deep root in history and is a remedy that helps numerous individuals fulfill their desires. The description in this book sheds a light on the role of hoodoo and voodoo practitioners, such as casting spells, making charms, and telling fortunes. 7. Lowcountry Voodoo. Beginner's Guide to Tales, Spells and Boo Hags. Here comes a good old voodoo book for basic info about the form of voodoo. Voodoo magic was brought along with African slaves when they moved to the American South to work. This is often described as plantations. This cultural uniqueness has blended with Christianity, folk magic, and herbalism as time goes by. It's still practiced in South Carolina's Lowcountry nowadays. You'll discover an incredibly huge content of voodoo spellcasting inside this guide. Some highlights include introduction of the gullah, special events and tours to learn about Lowcountry culture, recipes on bringing good luck and preventing bad luck, ways to recognize curses and how to avoid, overview of a real voodoo village, instructions of making sweet grass baskets, interesting Lowcountry tales featuring voodoo. Overall, this book provides a great insight to the historic mythology and culture of the South. Any suggested book for voodoo spells? Being an excellent spellcaster doesn't mean you must have over 100 different books about witchcraft on the bookshelves. Reading the review is important. Just a couple of authoritative books written by authentic craft practitioners are enough. Before beginning your witchy path, let's find your favorite voodoo spell books here.